People think that entrepreneurship is all about the business.
That's not true. Absolutely not true. Once you know yourself, who you are, what do you want, what you already know within yourself, you will definitely be successful. That I guarantee you.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Personal Development for Entrepreneurs. I'm here with my mentor and good friend, Dr. Venga Kalachulu. Today, we are going to be talking about an interesting topic as usual. It's about how to thrive in conflict. So conflict happens on a daily basis at work, in personal relationships, with family. It's all around. And it's inevitable because when you're dealing with different people, you've got different perceptions, different thoughts, different ideas and things that are happening. The thing is, many of us shy away from conflict. I, for one, hate being in situations where there's conflict, but it can be very unhealthy to simply walk away and not address issues, or not to make your stand clear on something. You shouldn't be mellowed into keeping your ideas and your opinions to yourself, but rather you should be addressing these things. And Venga today is going to help us look into how you can successfully thrive in conflict.
Good evening, Ikram. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Actually, Ikram, negotiation started, I think, the very day we are born. When we come out of our mother's womb, we learned negotiating. This is true because the only way a child can get what it wants is to shout. So this is the skill we have learned. The more we cry or the more we shout, and people will give in, depending on the age, okay? If you're much older, they'll slap you. Or if they're much older, they'll push you, you know? But they're young, they give in, right or not?
Yep.
And negotiation has been there with us. In human life, it started when we were born, and it'll probably end after we are dead, no? So negotiation is part of life. That's something we must accept it, no?
Mm-hmm.
But whether or not we can behave like thugs, you know, like mafia. You understand? In other words, you do what I tell you to do, and that's it. That's a mafia way or the gangster way.
Yep.
Or as human, you sit down and talk to one another, no? And in doing this, there are three very important things that we all as human must do, no? Which we don't, you know. We must all do, at least sit down and understand, do a little bit of research, no? On what are you negotiating on. What is it that you're negotiating? Number one. Okay, very important. What are you negotiating for? What is it that you are negotiating for? That's number one. Number two, you must be mentally prepared for the outcome, meaning that you must be able to manage your emotion extremely well, because a lot of time it's your not mentally prepared lets you down, and you react emotionally.
Yep.
And the third thing, very important, Lana, you cannot only see from your point of view, Lana. You must see from the other person's point of view. I can explain these three things in very simple way. Look at the negotiation between America, the United States and China, United States and Russia, Ukraine and Russia, Europeans and the rest of the world. And then out of all of this, comes India, which is thriving very well. They are damn good negotiators. The Indians, perfect. I don't want to take your side. I got to take my side. But we condemn the conflict, but we must sit down and talk and look at it from both sides. That's what they're talking about. And in fact, now, more and more American individuals, big professors of universities and what have you, are also talking like that. So as a human, as us, as people, as individual, we need to recognize these three important things. Number one, you must do research on what you are going to negotiate. You must know everything. For that, you must write it. Don't just think about it. It's no good. Write. And set your goal. That's the three things. Write, goal, review. Okay, you sit down, write down, and look at it from every angle, and then set your goal. What you're willing to accept, and what are you willing to give? Set a goal. Okay, and review them. Yep. Review them over and over again until you are prepared, fully prepared. It is stupid to walk into a negotiation without preparation. Very important. Okay. Now, having said that, you must also have, what do you want? Why do you want it? And then what are you willing to give? And what are you willing to share? What, why, how? Okay. So in order to get out of the conflict and thrive well in a conflict, you must address it immediately, or I say act quickly. You must act. If you don't act quickly, whatever the situation is, it'll deteriorate. Number two, you must understand the situation. When I say understand the situation, you 360 degrees. You must look at every angle possible. And that you can only see if you are writing it down. If you simply think like that, cannot. It's by writing, it becomes clearer. And then you must, the third thing you must do is you must keep it in context. If you don't keep it in context, you will run all over the place because your mind is running all over and it will screw you up. When you keep it in context, then you can see the different layers in the issue. Very superficial, something hidden agenda. You can see that, okay? And then it must also be understood very clear. When you are discussing, when you are talking in negotiation, you must stay engaged. You cannot let yourself be drift. The people drift. They pay attention to their hand phone and what have you, and distraction. Cannot happen. Because when you pay attention, the next thing you'll find is common grounds. If you don't pay attention, you lose the ground. And then you must look forward, always moving forward, not going back to the same thing we talked about 1 minute ago or 2 minutes ago. You don't go back, you go forward. Okay, to give you an example, Ikram, I know you are a very good dancer. I don't know anything about dancing.
I'm not that good.
Well, I don't even know how to dance, Landa, right? But I tell you this, Ikram, negotiation is like dancing, man. You know, both parties must move in cognizance, isn't it? Then only it will be isn't it?
Good analogy, yes, yeah.
Negotiation is dancing. Otherwise, you step on her shoe or she will step on your shoe, one or the other. Okay? So like a dancing. And it must be, both party must be flexible. Then a good negotiation will. Sometime in a dance, you want to stop, pause, rest a little bit, rethink again, come back again. Looks very simple, right? Ikram?
Yep.
Then why are we not practicing it?
Fear. I think it is fear of, because it's not planned, you don't know what you want, you're not prepared for the outcome. So fear sets in and you don't want to.
Exactly. Exactly. Or we want to be mafia, number one. You'll do it my way. You see, when you sit at the boss and subordinate, the boss is the mafia, the subordinate. Do what I tell you to do. Who will win? Usually the employee will win.
The employee.
Yeah, sure. In longer term, he will win. Because when you, as a boss, you must also come down to be able to negotiate, that you must let the employee walk away. Okay, he has given me what I wanted, or at least he's willing to listen to me for what I've explained to him. If he leaves your place and say, Bugger, he doesn't even want to listen to what I'm telling him, you think he is going to be 100% committed employee? The answer is no. All he wants is just listen to me. Like I was explaining the other day to a seminar I was conducting to somebody. He said, why don't people talk in meetings and all? Why don't people talk, our staff? I told him very simple. We are taught from young, going to school in our home, shut up, don't talk, listen. You can't question the teacher whether a dolphin is a mammal or a fish. The teacher thinks it's a fish. My granddaughter told her off. You understand? The teachers are there to teach, not to communicate. And there we have come like that, okay? And then we arrive at a working place where you're told, this is the job description, go and do it. These are the rules, these are regulations, go and do it. Where is the chance for me to express what I think? Is there a chance? So no. This is the road we come through, but we're not talking about that kind of thing. We're talking about many things in negotiation. In life, in business, in the work that we do, we are negotiating all the time. But there are elements to that. First of all, as I said to you just now, find out what are the causes for conflict. There are many, many causes for conflict. And let me name a few, Ikram. Number one is different expectation. Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
My expectation, your expectation. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, unless we know each other's expectation, is there a point in discussing it? Is there a point in negotiating it? No point, huh?
No point.
So expectation must be established. And then, Ikram, poor communication. We don't know how to express ourselves in a very refined way, in a way that it can be understood by the other party, because we look at our opposite party and we behave as we are without taking into consideration about the other party. What frame of reference is he in? We use our own way communication, we don't talk to, we engage with one another, but we're not listening. Ikram, many times you meet a friend, you want to tell a little story, and before you can even finish your story, somebody jumping in with another story, right? That means all the people sitting around, they have their own story they want to tell. They're not interested in your story.
Correct.
Communication. The third thing, Ikram, we all have different values. As a human, we have different values. Nowadays, you see the term that is being used, human value. Now, human value is as old as a Mahabharata. Human value is as old as human.
Yeah.
Okay. The war, which took place some 30, 40,000 years ago, happened because a woman was stripped in the parliament. That's the war all about. The right of a woman was shown there. So it is very old, but we have different values. You might think it's right. I think it's wrong. Unless I understand your value, my perception will always be blocked. So understand each other's value. Okay. On top of that, it is also important that self-awareness becomes very, very important. Why? Because your emotions are going up and down. You have a great emotional thing. That's why it's emotional. When you are emotional, you must become intelligent. That's why emotional intelligent. When you are emotional, your intelligence must be 100%. Is it possible or not?
No,
not possible.
Not really emotional. Yeah.
But you can train, right?
Correct.
By separating. Hey, hold it, Venga. Stop. This one, emotion. You can do that, but write down. Hey, I'm emotional. I must separate the two. Is it possible? Yes. But provided you are in the conversation, you are discussing, and actually you are seeing how it's flowing, and you are making some notes, So all of that, you are there. You are there, not on your phone or something else that's happening outside, or what's the next meeting going to be? No, you're there. So you need to manage that important thing called emotional intelligence. So when you are emotional in a discussion, your intelligence is zero.
Yeah, that's right.
And you get into trouble. And this happens always in good relationship. When you are very close to somebody, you think you can afford to be emotional. It happens in marriages, with children, with husband and wife, mother and father, and all that. That's why many families don't talk to one another. Because when they talk, they're very emotional. They're not looking at it objectively. Do I make any sense in this?
Yes, it is.
Correct. So emotional intelligence. Then about your own as a person, you must become also aware of yourself. Your self-awareness must also come up. That means your conscious level, which is already there, now between your subconscious awareness and your conscious awareness, they must match. Or if not, it must separate. You must consciously separate from it. I'm looking at the subconscious, which is the old data I have. That happened 10 years ago, a few years ago, when I was a child, this, that, yeah. All that must be separate. You must be able to separate it apart. So how do I know all that? Three things, just simple three things. Listening skill. You must improve your listening skill. The more you improve your listening skill, the more you will observe. When you observe, you will know how to validate. Yes, I agree with you there. Now you made a good point there. Validation.
Yep.
You must validate it. Thank you for reminding me. Validate. And then make notes so that you follow up. Simple. So listen, observe your own behavior, observe everything, validating things as it goes along, and then follow up. In all my life, I must tell you, I'm 83 years old. I have never ever won any negotiation. I have never ever failed in any negotiation. I've always come out well. Whatever the difficulties are, I am prepared to go forward, and I always make the other party flexible enough to come forward. Okay? And when I find that people are behaving like mafia, I cut it off. I cut it off, and then, okay, you go your way, I go my way.
How do you do that? How do you do the cutoff? That's interesting to know.
Whenever you do not know between right and wrong, if you do not know what you're saying, the way you're saying it, the way you're treating me like I'm a dirt, no? Like I have no respect for soil, no? Yeah, the soil is inside me, no? I don't pay attention, no? When you treat me like someone who's not intelligent, you treat me like someone who you can cheat. So what is the point?
Yeah, yeah.
No point. So it's very obvious. You can see that.
But what do you do? Do you walk away from the negotiation?
No. Yeah. In my case, I cut it off completely. I said, I think it'll be better you find somebody else to do your job, and I will look for another different customer altogether. Because we come to the stage where everything I do is not right. So there's no point. Which means, you are treating me like a dirt. And many a times, it turns around completely. Wow, I didn't realize that. So yes, I don't have to cry to tell you how hurting. You have hurt my feeling. You have questioned my integrity. You have actually said that I am an idiot, stupid, although you didn't use that word. Then what is the point? It's better we break up.
But what if it's a situation where you can't break up? You're already in the middle of a project,
okay,
with the client, and you need to get paid, for example, and you're contractually bound to continue. So, but negotiations are breaking down. How do you handle that?
In that case, I would then sit down and re-evaluate my strategy. What are my strategy? And in each of the case, I'll get a team of people, 2, 3 people, 4 people, from the sales side, from the management side. I give your opinion. This is a situation. What give me? I will listen to all. I won't even say, oh, this is wrong, this is right. No, I'll just and write down everything, and then I look at it. After I've looked at it, I'll call them back again. These are good. Can we expand on this? I look at it and then ask your opinion. I'll have 2 meetings. When I've done that, I know exactly where I am. I'll take this, and then I'll go to the customer, whatever that is, and then talk to them. Listen, this is what you're prepared to do. This is what we cannot do. How can we compromise on this? There are things that you are asking me to do. We are unable to do that. Or it'll cost too much to do that, which you are not prepared to pay. And on top of that, there is also other issues. Whatever that, you must be very open, very clean, very, very straight. Talk to them. And then, Ikram, when you are very open with people like that, somewhere along the line, they also become human.
Right.
You understand? We cannot just go to the brain and talk to the brain alone all the time. You have to go to the heart. And how do you do that? Bring people down from their crown, no? Meaning they think they are right. And that's why you need a team that can tell you that, hey, this approach is not so good. Why? What is the cost of the company? What is the benefit of the company? What are we doing? I mean, the strategy, I mean, what you want to achieve, that strategy must be discussed. And it must not be ruled, you know. It is, hey, what can we do for them? How can we do it? Are their demands too much? Why are we calling it too much? Why is it we can't deliver? Maybe our people are not competent. Or is it we are demanding too much from them? Or is it that we must get somebody else? There's always an answer, but you are seeing it as a problem that need to be solved. Not like, you know, I have to win. And if you want to win, then what is the point? What is the point?
No point. Yeah. Then this, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, huh?
Correct. Yeah.
Is you know, sorry to use this word, but we are behaving like morons, you know?
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Behaving like morons. We don't realize the mistake is in us. We want people based on something I've heard in a seminar or some lectures I've been to or some school, Harvard Business School I've been to, and a theory has been proposed, you know. All that is good paper, PhD paper. But in life, it's not the same. So some people are very theoretical in their approach. Oh, it's been done in China. Oh, it's been done in Africa. It's been done in America, you know. That's why the white race have lost it. Now all the Asians are waking up. So suddenly they realize, hey, Asians are producing better product than us, better technology than us. Huawei is a better technology than what the West has. We don't admit that. Then no, I have been the greatest. You must get down. Why do you think people in Africa are going all over Europe? Why? You stole from them. Now they come to you. You are rich, so I want some of the rich. You must realize that. Does anybody want to come to Malaysia? No one. You know, so this is like that. But in negotiations, understand that even you, Ikram, you must evaluate this. What are you prepared to give? What are you not prepared to give? Let me ask you this question now, Ikram. Will you do a job when you make no profit from this company?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't, right?
No.
But you might say, I got 10 jobs, then let me lose 1, 9 I make. No. That's bad thinking. Every job must make a profit.
Correct.
A small profit lah. I'm not talking 50% margin lah, no? At least lah, no? Small margin you must make lah, to pay salary, to pay all that. And if a person at the other end doesn't even recognize that, what is the point in doing the job? Because in his mind, you're making 50% margin. That's why it's always good to talk to a Japanese. He will take out a spreadsheet and put all the costs down. And you know what he can negotiate, what he cannot negotiate. Then one thing he will do, he'll always look at the cycle of the work. can this cycle be faster? Can I take 5 seconds from here? Can I do this less than 10 seconds or 1 minute or something like that? No, make you more efficient. And because you're efficient, you'll say, hey, well, you made 10 seconds from this particular move, right? This flow, you save 10 seconds, right? Yes. Okay, give me 5 seconds. Then calculate the 5 seconds. Simple as that, right?
Yep.
That's negotiation. No? Sometimes in Malaysia, the negotiation is like a thuggish, no? Very thuggish. Cannot work.
Yep, absolutely.
But thuggish behavior, you win now. Long term, you won't win. And then that is why, Ikram, it is good to find people who are sensible to work with longer term. And you got to find it. But because maybe the reason why they're acting in a tough way is because they don't know you well enough, where you're coming from, and also your financial capability and all that. No? I always talk to people in a way, I always try to see their point of view, where they're coming from. Then I'll find a way to take the time off to educate them differently.
Yes, I do. Venga, we're coming up to the last 3 minutes of our program. Do you have anything you'd like to say to wrap up this topic on thriving, how to thrive in conflict?
Okay. As I said before, one thing only very important. Self-awareness of yourself in negotiation is important. What do you want? Why do you want it? How much are you willing to give? You cannot always win all the time. You must be able to give some. The negotiation must always be two ways. That's why you must have people who can feed you and work out the strategy, which is good for the customer and good for us. So negotiation is very simple, but don't make it too complex. So the three things again, always prepare, do research, prepare. Mentally, you must be prepared. If you're not mentally prepared, you go. And always remember, try to put yourself in the other person's shoe to understand where he's coming from and how far he can go.
Yep.
In short.
Fantastic. You've covered a lot of points today. You've got that. And then, of course, the 5 questions, you always, even in your planner, in your system, it's always there. What, why, how, when, who.
That's right.
Okay? That plays into almost everything that we do. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Venga. It's been really enlightening. There's been lots of points to take home. And for you, our viewers out there, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and this episode helps you to thrive in conflict and not shun away from conflict. Thank you.
Thank you. And when we meet again, okay, for those of you who are celebrating Diwali, okay, a happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali to everyone. By the way, before we end this, our next personal development for entrepreneurs is happening on the 2nd of November. It's the first Wednesday of the month, as always, at 8 p.m. Good night.
Good night.